What is up, guys? Vincenzo from home of Milan coming back at you once again. Furthermore, today we got a nice little Sassuolo win to break down. But before we do, make sure you guys check us out on all of our socials at Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and bunches, all at home of Milan. So without any further ado, guys, let's jump into this. So in the previous video, I predicted a 1-1 draw for this game. And in the first half, it looked like it was going to be exactly that, right? Absolutely dead. Even when we had our front line all healthy and our midfield back, this team just lacked the creativity to go forward and create chances. Leao goal that counted for the offside and the Benacer shot that went wide. It was close, but it just wasn't enough for us to gain the lead. And in the first half, it was just absolutely dead. We couldn't create anything, couldn't go forward. The players just were not sharp at all, right? A lot of sloppy passes, and Mike Maignan came up big in this game, keeping a clean sheet, doing a lot of incredible saves as he does. In the second half, we were a lot more threatening, right? In the opening 15 minutes in the second half, we were rewarded with a nice little line-splitting pass from Benacer, and Pulisic does well to beat his man and put it past the goalkeeper for the 1-0. And I want to tip my hat to Christian Pulisic because as a summer signing, he's absolutely proved me wrong. With 7 goals and 4 assists this season, he's been one of our best players in the team and by far our best summer signing, hands down. And he just had so much quality on that right-hand side than our previous options, and he's been absolutely phenomenal since playing for us. You know, in the preseason, you know, I had the pleasure of seeing him, and you know, he played well in the preseasons, and you know, super good to see him incorporated in this team. Massive shout out to Pulisic, and I tip my hat to you. Following Jovic's positive performances in previous games, we were hoping, you know, we can maybe see something from him, but to be honest, he got subbed in and he didn't really do that much more than Giroud did. And it was a little unfortunate because I was hoping, you know, to maybe see, you know, something, maybe like a pass or, you know, maybe open space for somebody, but he couldn't really get anything going, unfortunately. But, you know, we saw another Primavera product come through to the first team, and he was rewarded with his Serie A debut in Kevin Zaroli. He's a center mid, playing like a number 6, but occasionally going up and kind of breaking the lines a little bit. And we kind of saw that this game. So it's just super encouraging to see all these youth academy products come through to this season, right? We saw Bartezaghi come through. We saw Shaka Traore, Giancarlo Simic, and now we're seeing Kevin Zaroli come through to the first team. And it's super encouraging, right? Because, you know, we're seeing, you know, we're creating players, right? So it kind of just reminds me of the season of the Primavera class where we saw Donnarumma, Calabria, Locatelli, and Cutrone all come through to the first team. So it's super encouraging to see these players, you know, come through, and these young players to gain experience under their belt. And especially in a situation where it's a 1-0, kind of have to keep the lead or maybe roll the dice a little bit and get a second. But I was really, you know, bummed out to, you know, see that Giancarlo Simic was left out on the bench once again because, you know, I think we would have been more than fine, you know, running Kier and Simic with Teo at left back, but you know, I'm not the boss, so the blood lies on Pioli's hands for that one. Just to finish up on the Primavera, it's super encouraging to see these players come through and to get Serie A minutes under their belt. And to be honest, there really wasn't that much more to add. Obviously, in the first half, no one was really sharp. No one had the creativity to go forward and to really take the bull by its horns. And yeah, and obviously in the second half, we played slightly better, but Sassuolo kind of turned it up a little bit. But thanks to Mike Maignan, he kept a clean sheet and he kept us in the game for sure. And, you know, with how Milan played, Milan didn't really play the best, right? There's a screenshot on Twitter where it literally shows 5 defenders back, nobody in the midfield, and everyone's just up. Everyone just pushed up to, you know, try to score a goal. And I just can't believe I saw that picture, because it just, I think if there's any picture that defines Pioli's tactics, it's this, right? Just, you know, hoof the ball up the field, try to control it and pass it in the middle. And, you know, if you do that, good job. And that's just Pioli's tactics in a nutshell. Just offering absolutely nothing, right, in terms of creativity and guile to go forward. And to be honest, I don't know, I feel like we were kind of lucky to get a win versus Sassuolo, because we didn't really play great. And, you know, we got kind of lucky with the goal. Obviously, it was a great pass from Benacer, and Pulisic did well to finish it. But, you know, other than that, we had 2 shots on target out of 20, right? And, you know, Sassuolo's, you know, respectively, they're a 15th place team. But, you know, moving on to our next game, we played 19th place Empoli. So if we register 20 shots against Sassuolo and only 1 goes in, right? That's a massive issue. So I think, against Empoli, right? This is a 19th place team. We saw what a 20th place team can do, right? We tied against Salernitana, and we barely tied, right? If it wasn't for a Luka Jovic, heroic, then we would be talking about a completely different situation at this point. But we play Empoli, right? They're 19th place team, and again, I can't stress this enough. As I said in the Salernitana episode, if we get anything less than 3 points, it's an absolute failure, right? I'm not really the person to kind of jump into these rash decisions, but if we grab anything less than 3 points in this Empoli game, I think Stefano Pioli has to go. I think he has to go, and obviously, I think the only realistic option would be Ignacio Abate coming in and really kind of holding down the ship until we can get someone a little bit more experienced like a Conte, or I know there's obviously we've been linked with Thiago Motta and De Zerbi, and obviously we already know that news, but I think realistically I think an interim manager would be Abate, because obviously he's already the coach of our youth team, so you might as well just kind of save the money and kind of go for someone a little bit more ambitious in the summer. But going forward, I think Abate wouldn't be the worst manager in the world, right? I think, we've seen what he can do as a captain for our team, right? So he's experienced in that aspect as a leadership role. And I think that's what this team really lacks, is a leader and someone to really guide this team into a certain direction. And this is what Pioli does not offer whatsoever, right? We saw him, walk into the locker room, right, at the end of the Sassuolo game, and we saw Florenzi, who I want to tip my hat to him as well, who, had the team in a huddle and, was make sure we greet the fans. And I'm not really sure what Florenzi said in this little huddle, but I'm sure as a lot of positive things. I know later he said we have to back Leao because he's our best player and he's our game changer, and he's someone that can flip the game on a dime. So yeah, massive shout out to Florenzi. Not more much to add, so I think we're gonna end it off there, guys. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you guys check us out on all of our socials at Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and bunches, all at home of Milan. I hope you guys have a happy new year, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao ragazzi.